All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ontario Motor Speedway here in cloudy Southern California, as opposed to sunny Southern California, for the Colt Firearms Shootout. 30 laps first segment, 15 laps second segment. Top two transfer out of the first, the winner transfers out of the second, and if you haven't done either one of those, you got one more shot, and that's the fan vote. In the booth with me today, I have the driver of the number 26 Quaker State Buick, James Qualls, who has locked into the All-Star race. How we doing, James?
What's up?
And let's go ahead and get the starting lineup. James, go for it.
Alrighty, on the pole for today's event at 186 miles an hour, it is Gabriel Wanderley on the pole for this event. And alongside of him will be the number 75 Red Robin Chevrolet. That is Randy Claflin on the outside.
Whoops, a little bit of a fail there. There we
Row
go.
2 has Stephanie Gardner, an Altel Dodge Dart Car 81, one of the two Dodge Darts in the field. And the only Toyota in the field, hoping to be the only Toyota in the All-Star race, since there's one of every kind in two of the cars, I should say. Anyway, it's Jeff Weber in number 11 Sport Clips Toyota. Then it's Luis Hernandez, the Glad to Give Chevrolet Car 42. Beside him, the number 52 Pirates of the Caribbean Chevrolet, and Seth Cole for NNSCRA Motorsports. Jonathan Fitzwater has the inside of the fourth row in the Snickers Ford car number 30, and beside him, the number 88 Nationwide Insurance Chevrolet of Chris Dodd. Row number 9 has Jay Davis in the Rhino Power number 93 Ford Fusion, and number 10 Aspendale Chevrolet. Of Christina Weber. She's on the outside. Row number 6 has the number 83 Purex Ford of Logan Wilson, and beside him, number 13 Geico Chevrolet of Quentin Moore, even though he's a Morgan Shepherd fan. Next row down, number 7 has number 54 Samson Ford of Andrew Davis, and beside him, number 59 Justice from Michelle Dodge Dart, the second Dodge Dart in the field. That's Zachary Fitzwater. He's on the outside.
Oops.
Then it's number 25, Great Clips Chevrolet of Carson Scott, and beside him, the beautiful blue and yellow, white number 2 of Dylan Poteet in the Miller Lite Ford. O'Neill Baldwin in the McDonald's Chevrolet car number 1 is the inside of the next row down, and racing with a heavy heart this weekend is Devin Becker. We here and extend sympathies to the Becker family for the loss of his mother here, and we extend our condolences to him and the entire Becker family. He's in the number 41 Haas Automation Chevrolet car number 41.
And that also comes from the entire NAPRA family. We extend our deepest sympathies and condolences as well.
Exactly. Next row down, row number 10 has Alex Tanker, the Mobile 1 Ford car number 12, and beside him, the number 14 Texac Military Chevrolet of Joshua Osborne from Van Leer, Kentucky. And shotgun in the field, the number 22 Shell Pennzoil Ford, of another veteran, Dylan Young. He's shotgun in the field. He's in the third Penske Ford.
And you see there the brand new 2016 Corvette C7 pace car for the NAPRA Holly HP Cup Series. That will be pacing the rest of the events from this point forward in the season. I have all of the different colors, so you'll see a variety, but that will be the pace car. And what do you say, James? We go get the command. Okay. Why did we not hear the command? Well, I don't know if you folks heard it. We didn't hear it, but nonetheless, the field rolls off, and again, 30 laps the distance. Top two transfer. In testing, we saw some 3 wide racing. Saw a couple of crashes as well. So you got to know when to go 3 wide and when not to, and there were a couple of times that it was the wrong area to do it, but that will happen at times. Drafting definitely plays a factor. I didn't see that either lane was preferable. Inside worked, outside worked. But you never know what's going to happen, especially with a cloudy day. My pick, I'm a little biased, but to get it done in hopefully one of the two segments will be the car I own, which is the number 93 Rhino Supplements Ford of Jay Davis. Who's your pick, James?
I kind of tend to agree with you because we saw him in testing, and he has got a lot of horsepower in the outside lane. In fact, the matter is we saw a lot of cars run well on the outside lane, though. But Jay Davis is his car is squirts off the corner very, very well in that number 93. He's got excellent horsepower on the hood of that Ford, so I look for him to be a strong contender here today.
But you can't count out the veterans either. You know, you have Stephanie Gardner, you have Chris Dodd, you have Dylan Young, Dylan Poteet. Any of those guys could get it done. Yeah, Zachary Fitzwater. Any of those guys could get it done. It's just a matter of seeing it. Reach up, pull the belts tight one more time, and go ahead and take us to green, James.
Oh, boy, here we go. This is what it's all about here, baby. Green flag waves in. Buggity, buggity, buggity. Let's go racing, boys and girls.
And as you already see, Jonathan Fitzwater going to go 3 wide into the corner.
Well, it's 30. It's 30 laps though, and of course 45 if you want to count the second segment, which is 15. So they know it's go time. You know, all bets are off.
Absolutely. Well, why do we have it on pit lane 1? Let's go to TV 1. Oh, already trouble.
Oh, problems.
I believe that was the 88 of Chris Dodd. Oh, it was indeed. Ouch.
Oh my gosh.
Let's run through that. 3 wide. And contact with Logan Wilson in the 83, Christina Weber in the 10. And Quentin Moore just plows him. Oh, and he barrel rolls down the backstretch.
Barrel roll, Duke the barrel roll.
And keeps the car running, surprisingly enough. Let's go on board with Chris. This is going to be a wild ride. You definitely better pull those belts tight for this one.
This is going to be a wild 45 laps here today.
Yeah, most definitely. All right, let's go on board the Nationwide Chevy.
Which I noticed we actually are going to go 45 laps in this race actually instead of 30. So, and 15 for the second segment. But we don't mind.
Well, that's okay. That was quite the ride there on that one. But Chris,
it was Chris Dodd went ahead and parked it in the garage there, says there's no need of punishing it again. So,
but he will be able to pull out a backup car. NAPRA rules do allow that. We see Randy Claflin going to make a pit stop. Wow, most of the field looks like is going to come in. Jonathan Fitzwater, Seth Cole, Jay Davis, Andrew Davis, Zach Fitzwater, Baldwin, Scott, Christina Weber, Wilson, Osborne. Pretty much. Oh, I see some damage to Dylan Poteet's car. That was something I missed. Was there maybe a second wreck?
That's got involved in that crash in one way or the other.
I'm wondering if maybe there was a second wreck. Let's back it up a little bit and see if he was involved in that original crash or if there was a second one.
Right behind his teammate, another Dylan Young.
No, he was involved in that.
Looked to me like he got tapped, from the 88. He got tapped though. He hit the 88 of Chris Dodd, and Chris came back and tapped Poteet right there, sent him out of control.
Oh, and his teammate got him.
Dylan Young gives him a little tap.
So that's
Poteet mowing the grass.
That's what happened there. Okay. And
needless to say that left a nice little divot here at Ontario Motor Speedway.
Yeah, it definitely mowed the grass on that one. Let's see who came off of pit road first. Or did not pit, rather, would be Jeff Weber, Stephanie Gardner, Luis Hernandez. Those cars did not pit. The first off of pit road was Randy Claflin. Then we have Gabriel Wanderlei in the 5th position. 6th is Jonathan Fitzwater. 7th, Jay Davis, our pick. 8th, Seth Cole. 9th, Zachary Fitzwater. 10th, O'Neill Baldwin. Listed 12th, but I believe is 11th, actually. Was I a little bit off there? Yeah, I think I was off by a position. 11th is O'Neill Baldwin. 10th is Zachary Fitzwater. Okay. 12th is Carson Scott. 13th, we have 15th listed, so we'll have to wait until they cross the line to get a more accurate lineup here, but once we do, we'll go ahead and make a run through the field. But it looks like, was it Jeff Weber that's leading? Yeah. Wanting to be the only Toyota in the field in the All-Star race. We have Stephanie Gardner second, Luis Hernandez third, Randy Claflin first out of the cars who pitted, but fourth in the field. 5th, Gabriel Wanderley. 6th, Jonathan Fitzwater. 7th, again our pick, Jay Davis. 8th is Seth Cole. 9th, Zachary Fitzwater. 10th, O'Neill Baldwin. 11th, Carson Scott. 12th, Josh Osborne. 13th, Devin Becker. 14th, Christina Weber. 15th, Alex Tanker. 16th, Andrew Davis. 17th, Logan Wilson. 18th, Dylan Poteet. 19th, Dylan Young. And 20th would be Quentin Moore. And I'm sure that you all saw it, but as you can see, Chris Dodd has parked the Gray Ghost paint scheme in the garage area. He'll be starting shotgun on the field in the second segment because finishing positions in the first segment will determine the starting lineup in the second segment. So, and I am going to just jump into the option page right quick here and bring up the volume, because that was a little bit hard to hear earlier. And still under caution. Somehow, though, I don't believe that short pitting is going to do it for you in this race. We saw in testing, it was about 20 laps you could go on a fuel run. And then I saw in testing earlier today in the final practice, it was about, guys were pitting around between lap 19 and lap 22. So you're still not going to make it, even if you pit short pitting. You're still going to be a two-stop race. So,
but on the other hand, though, it could, but by pitting early, it could possibly pull out to be good strategy. If they start pitting again, though, and by virtue of if they pit the right time for you to pull it out, though, that's could be one of those type of races.
And I'm sure that is probably the idea for most of the field. Again, Jeff Weber did not pit, Stephanie Gardner did not pit, and Luis Hernandez did not pit. So those will be the first people to pit when pit stops take place. And what's going on here with Hernandez? He's pulled out of line. Is there some kind of maybe issue with the car, or is he going to pit? Probably not the smartest idea when you're getting ready to take the green. Well, let's stay with him and see what happens. I'm kind of wondering.
Even if he does have a problem, he does have time to fix it for segment 2.
Yeah, but what's the deal? There's he's kind of weaving the car back and forth. Some kind of mechanical issue, maybe a loose wheel or something.
Claflin's actually closing up on Stephanie Gardner, so he may restart third.
Yeah, he's definitely going to. You see Hernandez weaving the car back and forth. I'm wondering maybe a fuel pump issue. Like I said, let's.
I don't see no smoke. I don't see no smoke pouring out of the engine.
Let's see what happens. I don't want to miss the green, so we'll go back to that just as the green comes out.
Tough break for Luis Hernandez, though. He's going to fall a lap down.
He may not. It's possible, depending on what's going on. But we'll see what happens here as he comes in.
But more than likely, he will.
Left side tire. Maybe a loose wheel issue?
You picked the fine time to leave me loose wheels.
Right.
I had to.
Yeah, that's okay. He does come back out. I don't know if he'll stay on the lead lap.
Yeah.
As we see Jeff Weber come around.
What?
Let's take a look from the cockpit of the number 11. It doesn't look like he's going to lose a lap, but really the only prayer he's going to have of catching up is going to be a caution. Actually, I'm going to kick that volume down just a touch. Sorry, folks, but that was a bit on the loud side.
Technical issues courtesy of our network.
And it looks like the top 8 cars have broken away.
Another thing we want to mention, though, even though it's a sister track to and construction exactly like Indianapolis, it does to make a passer. It does involve like what you're seeing here, though, with Devin Becker and Joshua Osborne. Drafting will play a big part of this whole deal. And usually you don't hear drafting as much on tracks that's not Talladega or Daytona, but just because you don't have the restrictor plates doesn't mean you can't draft.
Right. And Dylan is giving that car a good run. Even though he's racing with a heavy heart, he wants to make his mom proud and try to win either the first segment or the second.
Right now sits in the 11th position at time by.
As we go back through the field. Okay, so Hernandez is coming down the backstretch.
And Jeff Weber leading Stephanie Gardner and Gabriel Wanderley.
And they are on the backstretch themselves. So let's go aboard again the Sport Clips Toyota. And this is what you want to see. Nothing but clear track ahead of you.
He doesn't see Hyde nor Hera Luis Hernandez right now.
We'll see if he sees above the front straightaway. Well, let's check out speeds. 199, 200, 203, 4, 5, 6, 207, flashed at 208.
That what we said. That what we thought this run there. Last lap speed 182.29 miles an hour. About 4 miles an hour slower than they qualified.
Let's see who holds the fastest lap currently. And the fastest lap currently at 183.9 is Jay Davis.
Almost topping 184 miles an hour around this racetrack.
So let's
about what Sprint Cup cars do at Indy, just about.
Let's go on board the 93. Sixth position currently, but from the looks of things, he's definitely gaining some distance on those cars. But let's check the interval at the line.
Running right behind Jonathan Fitzwater, and he is 0.6 of a second behind him.
1.1 second interval on this lap. Let's see if he closes it down. It does look like he is closing.
Catching a sniff of that draft, and as I said, very important.
And I do apologize for that mistake in the lap count earlier. It's actually a 60 lap race, 45 first segment, 15 second.
I think we had the 45 on the number, had that number on our brain.
Yeah. Look at that, 3 wide in front of him.
Whoa, boy, this don't look good.
But that definitely has allowed Jay Davis to come right back up.
Saying, come on, guys, I want to join in on the fun here.
And he is going to. Looks like he's giving the Snickers Ford there, Jonathan Fitzwater, a little push through the corner.
What was 1.12 seconds? He's now close to within 3,400 of a second.
He's going to the outside. Let's see, can he get by I don't know, with no drafting help behind him, I don't know how easily that's going to be accomplished.
He does have rep on the front cars, though, however.
Oh, he does have some drafting help. Zach Fitzwater and Seth Cole have come up into the picture as well.
But Seth prefers to fall back in behind Fitzwater. Now Fitzwater's going to come up behind Jay Davis. Whoa! Well, Fitzwater's going to go 3 wide.
Oh, he is. Ooh. Into the corner. Not the place you want to be doing that.
I thought they were going to touch.
I did too.
Seth Cole's going to stick with Fitzwater. And here comes Carson Scott. He says, I want to join in.
Wow, what great racing. And it looks like Seth Cole's going to go with Jay Davis on the outside line.
52 against 52 backwards in the case of Cole and Scott.
Oh. I think there was a little bit of contact there between the 52 and the 93. As he goes with the Ford, a fellow Ford, and that's Jonathan Fitzwater. We've got a Dodge, a Chevy. Oh, Zach Fitzwater closes right into that little space between Jonathan Fitzwater and Jay Davis. The outside doesn't look like where you necessarily want to be, but Jay Davis in testing got great runs off the corner on that outside line. So
he's hoping that same setup would serve him well, though. But right now he's having a hard time getting by those guys. In fact, he's losing more spots than he is gaining him.
Yeah, he's dropped to 7th from 5th. Let's see who our leader currently is. And that would be Jeff Weber, trying to put that Toyota, and the only Toyota in the series, in the All-Star race. Again, he was the car that did not pit, so he would probably be the first to pit on green flag pit stops unless a caution does come out. But we're going to just take a quick walk back through the field here. At Stephanie Gardner in 4th, Jonathan Fitzwater 5th, Zachary Fitzwater 6th. I'm not sure if there was a relation there or not. Zachary or Jonathan, I'm sure you can chime in on that and let me know.
Exactly.
Then Jay Davis 7th. Carson Scott 8th, Seth Cole 9th, O'Neill Baldwin 10th, Devin Becker giving that 41 car a good run in 11th, Josh Osborne 12th, Andrew Davis 13th, Logan Wilson 14th, Alex Tanker 15th, Christina Weber has dropped like a rock through the field. She's now 16th. Then we have Quentin Moore 17th, Dylan Young 18th, 19th is Dylan Poteet, and last place currently, and the only player I think he's got to catching up as a caution, is Luis Hernandez. As much as you don't want to see a caution, he, I think, is probably praying for a caution right about now. Wow, look at the squirt off the corner Weber got. That Joe Gibbs horsepower. Oh, and he's coming to pit road at lap 16, as well as Stephanie Gardner. Those two cars did not pit.
It's like we said, though, it can come back. If you didn't pit the first time, it could come back and bite you.
And there's Andrew Davis as well making a pit stop. As he crosses the line in 14th position. Let's watch Weber's pit stop, see if they'll take 2 as a strategy move or if it will be 4 tires.
Andrew Davis, Jeff Weber brings his Toyota into the pits here, and he can change 2 tires on the left side of the race car. And then decided they're going to go for 4 tires here, and Jeff will go a lap down in the Sport Clips crew. Put Joe Gibbs Racing here down the way he goes. And a great pit stop for Jeff Weber as he comes down pit road.
Let's see where the leader is currently, and there's Randy Claflin, the leader. He may put Weber and Gardner a lap down, although that will cycle through when they pit. As Gardner, right up in front of Claflin.
Almost LePage in front of Claflin.
But he's going to go by with Gabriel Wanderley and Zach Fitzwater. And look at Jay Davis. Where'd he come from? He was like
10 wide.
Oh, this might not be good. Contact.
And Davis and Fitzwater touch. Oh my gosh.
Oh, they're all coming to pit road.
And they're one. And Davis Davis hard to the wall.
Into the catch fence. I saw that coming.
I did too. As hard as they were leaning on each other.
Ooh, that was a hard hit up into the catch fence. And I believe that was Zach trying to bully his way onto pit road along with Jay. You know,
just a simple case of two guys going for the same piece of real estate.
Because you see Jay dropping down and Zach Fitzwater just bouncing off the Rhino Supplements Ford. He wanted into pit road, and it looked like Jay Davis maybe was considering staying out.
Either that or he drove right up into Fitzwater is what it almost looked like.
This is not...
End result was dire straits for Jay Davis.
And that's too bad because he was giving that car a really good run. Let's go on board the Rhino Supplements Ford.
Fasten your seatbelts, everybody.
That's going to be a wild ride right here.
Jay goes 3 wide. He gets a great run on the inside of the racetrack. Fitzwater didn't like that. He's saying, get out of the way, get out. There he goes. Starts bumping. Right there. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. I'm warning you. That's it.
I'm honestly not sure that Jay was actually planning on pitting. I think he was going to stay out. Oh! And he gets hammered by Logan Wilson.
Oh, and lands on top of him.
Wow, that was something we missed. Let's go back.
Adding insult to injury.
Let's go back to that. He got LePaged.
That's adding insult to injury right there. Somebody slamming. Watch Logan Wilson.
Just nowhere to go. Oh, and then, was that Andrew Davis?
Yes, it was.
Just plowed the rear of Logan Wilson and landed him on top of Jay Davis's car. You know, I think...
That scene reminded me a lot of Mark Martin and Rusty Wallace at Darlington.
Yeah, I think Jay Davis got a good look at the undercarriage of Logan Wilson's car on that one.
Unintentionally, I might add.
All right, let's see who the leader is. That would be Jonathan Fitzwater as he comes out of pit road. But let's go back and take a look at pit stops. Let's see who came in as the leader. It would be Jonathan Fitzwater. But that was just an incredible hit. I'm not sure if the caution is going to be extended due to the catch fence being torn up by Jay Davis's car, but it looked like it more or less kind of grabbed the car and then threw it back onto the tracks. So I don't think we're going to have to worry about that, but let's watch pit stops and see if the Snickers crew does indeed get him off of pit road first. It sure looked like it. Seth Cole comes in right in front of him. Right side tires going on the Snickers Ford and the Pirates of the Caribbean Chevy. Left sides go on both cars as well. And we see Luis Hernandez pitting again as well. And Fitzwater's crew will indeed get him off of pit road first. Great stop for the Snickers team. But look who is in the lead. That would be
Randy Claflin.
Yeah, Randy Claflin and Gabriel Wanderley, your front two starters.
Randy's another car that had a strong run throughout testing.
Yeah, he definitely did. That Chevy has some good horsepower under the hood as well. And then we have Wanderley, Weber, Scott. Wow, he moved up incredibly. O'Neill Baldwin, who started towards the end of the field, is now in 5th position. Where did he come from?
driver out of Earnhardt Ganassi Racing.
But then again, Ganassi's motors have been known to produce a good amount of horsepower. Alex Tanker also started fairly far back in the field. Some damage looks like pretty significant to the Justice for Michelle Dodge, so he's certainly not going to be up to speed.
Still got a 15 lap segment to go though after this.
And as I had stated earlier, if you are involved in a wreck or have some kind of mechanical difficulty, the NAPRA officials are allowing backup cars for the second segment, so they will have a shot there. However, we'll be starting at the rear of the field. So if you can't get it done by winning the second segment, you have one more chance, and that will be the fan vote. So let's keep an eye on the pace car and Randy Claflin. I believe the lights probably will go down atop the pace car this time by. And they do. So repairs, if any were needed, have been made to the catch fence on the back stretch. Although I believe that was more turn 3 than it was the back stretch. But that was an incredibly hard hit. That was a case of courtesy not being used, I would say, more than anything else. Fitzwater, I think, should have backed off and allowed Davis to go by, or vice versa. Davis could have backed off the throttle too. It was just one of those kind of racing deals where neither one allowed the other the space. So you can bet for sure they will not be exchanging Christmas cards this year. But we're going to go on board the Red Robin Ford from the roof cam. Fail. Red Robin Chevy. .75 miles an hour pace speed. And the advantage to this caution coming out, though, was Luis Hernandez being able to catch back up. So, that certainly helped him. Pace car is off. Go ahead and take us back to green, James.
Pace car looks up on the pit road, on board with Randy Claflin, the leader of the race here, as we are about to complete lap number 22. As the green flag waves, and we are back on the way, almost halfway home.
Now, my question too is, are fresh tires going to be an advantage?
Jeff Weber wasting no time trying to get by Gabriel Wanderley.
Is Carson Scott going to take it? Oh, I thought we were going to see 3 wide there for a second.
I did too. 12 car though of Alex Tanker looking racy here as he tries to get by both the 14 and the 1.
And look who's right there behind. Yeah, there was some contact there. Look who's right behind him, giving that car a good run. And that would be Devin Becker.
Devin knows he's got to stay in that draft.
Let's go on board the roof cam of the Haas Automation Chevrolet. As he runs in 9th position.
I give a shout out to Joshua Osborne in that 14 car. He's another one that started way back in the back.
Yeah, he did. And he just powered by Alex Tanker. But if I'm not mistaken, the Stewart Haas team does lease engines from Hendrick, do they not?
Exactly right.
Yeah, and look at the Hendrick horsepower under the hood of that car, because he just pulled away from Alex Tanker.
Osborne, like the two of us, also a long-time racing fan himself.
Yes. few rookies in this field, but a few veterans as well. So looks to me though at this point like the veterans are kind of showing the rookies the way around.
That could be right though. Not only guys like Osborne, but also from what we saw then, guys like Dylan Young, Poteet, and Fitzwater.
Unfortunately, all with damage to their cars.
But Seth Cole's still at it, though.
Yes, he is. Let's just take a quick run back through the field.
There is Seth right there behind Jonathan Fitzwater.
Yep. Right there, the NNSCRA president, Seth Cole. Today driving the Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End paint scheme.
And by the NNSCRA celebrating 5 years of off-lawn racing at its best this year. They all started back in 2011.
Yeah, and my first season in the Hershey's Cup Series is this year. Out of the leagues to participate in, I definitely highly recommend your league, James, which is the Castrol GTX Cup Series.
You're probably the first guy that ever said that.
The Hershey, you do excellent races. I will say that. This is the first season in about 10 seasons that I missed.
So yeah, it's probably so because I mean, rides filled up pretty quick, but.
Yeah, it was just a case of not being there when the sign-ups happened, and day late and a dollar short. But I will be back next season.
And I have moved over to the NSCRA channel, but my series has, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. And, his league is great. Seth Cole, your league is great, Seth Cole's league, the Hershey's Cup Series from NNSCRA, another excellent league to join. Dylan Poteet with the Mountain Dew Cup Series, another excellent league. My league is the rookie of the leagues, but I'm trying to make it better with each consecutive season. This is the second season of the Poly HP Cup Series. I'm kind of learning a little bit from each one of you guys, you, Poteet, and Seth Cole, on what to do, what not to do, that type of thing.
In fact, a lot of the NSCRA series are great. Seth Cole doing his league. Also you got Levi McIntyre with the Walmart Cup Series. Michael Norman with the Budweiser All Pro Series. Kyle Matthews also doing his league with the NRSL Dr. Pepper Cup Series along with my Xfinity Series.
Yeah, that's another great league. Another excellent league that I'm a member of, and that's why I'm highlighting these cars. Carson Scott's Zero Racing Gillette Cup Series. That's an excellent series as well. Very, very good series to join. Very responsive series owner when you have questions or, as the case may be, criticisms. A lot of us guys kind of mix in with each other's leagues. Try to help each other as best we can, because that's the way that NR 2003 is going to keep going. You have to be willing to help each other out with comments, questions, suggestions. I've painted quite a few cars for your league. I've painted cars for Carson's league. I painted a few cars that are in Seth's league. It's something I enjoy doing and certainly don't mind doing. Painted a few cars that are in my league as well. The Snickers Ford of Jonathan Fitzwater, Carson's Great Clip Chevy I painted, Andrew Davis's car, Zach Fitzwater's car, Jay Davis's car, my car that is locked into the All-Star race. Your car I did a little bit of modification to as far as coloring and so forth. It wasn't exactly what it should have been. However, that car I can't take the credit for painting. I just kind of modified it a little bit.
Right.
What other cars are in here did I paint? Oh, I painted Stephanie Gardner's car.
There's quite a battle going on right now.
Yeah. Painted Stephanie Gardner's car, the 81. And that's the last car I could take credit for. But looks like Wanderlei and Claflin are kind of...
Seth Colt.
Go ahead.
Seth Colt made an excellent move to the inside. I was watching that back of cars. There's right there. He's now alongside Joshua Osborne.
Yeah, the front kind of a little bit of a boring situation, but we definitely have some battling going on here as Seth runs in 7th position at the moment. Oh, looks like
Osborne powering past Seth.
Luis Hernandez.
Here comes.
Oh, we got 3 wide between Gardner, Becker, and Hernandez. Gladly, wisely took it to 2 wide. So that's, that smart driving on their part. That's what you need to do.
Devin Becker was all over that back bumper of that 42 of Hernandez.
Yeah, he was.
Just like we're seeing Gabriel Wanderley right now with the leader Randy Claflin.
Just kind of watching some shoving, pushing and shoving there, it looks like, between Osborne and Fitzwater. Boy, Fitzwater is glued.
Tandem drafting.
He's glued to the rear of that number 14.
It's one of those situations where the driver where the pushee is going, get off my butt.
And as you can see the Fusion lettering quite clearly on the front of the Snickers Ford here. As he looks to the inside. But that opens up the outside for Seth Cole.
Fitzwater trying to make the move to the inside, but just doesn't quite have that umph on the board.
Let's go back to the lead duo of Claflin and Wanderley. It looks like Scott and Weber waging quite a battle. Even if they can't catch and pass Claflin and Wanderley, this will be your front row for segment 2. So that that's not a bad thing necessarily either. I believe it's going to come down to what the front row was, although at this point the positions will be reversed because Gabriel Wanderley was the pole sitter and Claflin was the outside pole sitter, but as they take the if it stays this way, as they take the checkered flag, they will reverse positions. However, we'll lock both cars into the All-Star race.
Exactly.
Let's go on board the Quality Care Fusion with that Bud Moore horsepower under the hood. Bud Moore engine's always known to be packing a lot of power. So we'll definitely see what happens. And I believe that that's Dylan Poteet that they are coming up on. But we're going to go aboard Randy's car and see if that's who it is they're catching. But I believe with the damage he had to the rear of his car, that's who that is. Oh, Claflin coming on to pit road. Second pit stop of the day coming. Let's see who else comes in. Carson.
Last pit on lap number 15.
Carson Scott coming in. Balvin coming in. Tanker coming in. Becker coming in. Christina Weber coming in. So that would clue me in that Jeff stayed out.
Alright, love you. Bye.
And he did. Although right now listed in 13th position. There would be the 2 lead cars.
Jonathan Fitzwater and Seth Cole.
But we'll see where that cycles down. Oh, Seth Cole peeking to the inside.
He's getting down pit road. Does he want to lead a lap? Looks like he's wanting to lead a lap.
Yeah, it looks that way. Although, no, it looks like they're both going to come in. Seth driving the number made famous by Jimmy Smut Means, number 52.
Yep.
Kind of a he stayed pretty much, Jimmy Means was an independent pretty much his whole career. I don't think he ever really had a heavily sponsored ride.
Stayed famous, stayed loyal to that number.
He did indeed throughout his career. And still does own, I believe, Xfinity cars that carry that number. But don't quote me on that. I think you could probably confirm that better than I can. Fitzwater coming off of pit road first. Now let's see who is the leader when they cycle around. Stephanie Gardner going to the inside of O'Neal Baldwin for position. Makes that pass.
Baldwin's one of those guys who claims he's got a lot of bad luck in any series he's been in.
Yeah, unfortunately, that seems to be my case in Hershey's Cup this year. If it's not for bad luck, I have none at all. The All-Star Shootout race, there were like 4 wrecks, and I was in every single one of them. And then in the 600, there was a wreck on the first couple of laps. Myself and my teammate Jason Haywood got together and caused a huge mishap. And my car was out of the race early there as well. So, 4 for 4 for wrecks at Charlotte.
At least you made the 600. I didn't.
Yeah, I luckily was... oh, look who the leader is being shown as.
Joshua Osborne.
The 75 is listed as second, only 4 100ths of a second behind, but if...
well, you can now count Claflin as the leader now.
I believe that's exactly what it's going to be. And as they cross the line, yes, you can switch those numbers back.
Well, I tell you what, Osborne, as I said, though, he started way back in the back, though. What a surprise that would be for him if he can make the All-Star race.
Yeah, he was way back in the field, close to last place. I believe he started on
didn't really test all that well, neither.
No, I believe he was, like the 9th row? Wasn't that where he started? Somewhere in that general area? 10th row, yeah. So
started back in 20th position.
And he's made a great run up to the front, as we see Alex Tanker, another one that started towards the rear, giving a good accounting of himself as well.
Tanker. So, but Osborne got that run on the high side.
But look at the run Claflin got. My God, he is just gone.
A 180-mile rocket ship. That's what he's got.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go on board the Red Robin Burgers board and check the tachometer out, see what kind of RPMs they're turning as they come on to the backstretch.
Thought that's about 6,900 coming out through turn 2. Here he comes at about 8,400, 85, 86, 7, 8,700 RPMs into turn 3.
And about 201 miles an hour. Now let's see what the difference on the front straightaway is.
It's about...
Just briefly danced with 8,700 RPM.
Set these guys on these cars. Set they got on these cars when they're by themselves in the draft. Though it's not the RPM count's not quite as bad.
No, not at all.
And he's about 8,700 again going on the third turn. So
and about
we had documented this track as being an engine builder's nightmare at one time during testing. When they were testing, they're about like what 9,100 RPMs at about one point, and then about. No lower than about 7,000, maybe even 6,900.
Yeah, it was about 90. I think the highest one we saw of the cars we looked at was like 9,300 RPM.
That's why we said that. That's why we said it as an engine builder's nightmare, kind of referring to that, kind of similar to how we described like Charlotte, Texas, Atlanta, places like that.
Yeah. Turning the whole.
Also, even tracks like California and Michigan.
And being a short race like this, you can bet that those cars were not built with the tight tolerances that they would be for a long distance race. So, turning the RPMs like they are, that can be hard on motors. You could end up actually blowing a motor up.
Exactly. That's why they try to build the best engines they possibly can.
This kind of...
look at the 11 of Jeff Weber trying to close in.
Yeah, look at Gabriel Wanderley.
Right. Santa was in the front row with Randy Claflin, and I kind of want that second spot to transfer.
I don't believe anybody, in all honesty, is going to catch Claflin, especially if they start racing side by side like this. He's got quite a lead. But you never know. If they can maybe hook up in a threesome, nose to tail, they might catch him. But if they keep battling side by side like this, I just don't see it.
Yeah, Randy Claflin's got that car on cruise control right now.
Yeah, but you can bet he's doing some mirror driving.
Some ways he is.
There'll be 2 laps to go as they cross the line. To complete lap 43, so 2 laps to go. On segment 1, anyway.
Weber trying to close in on Randy Claflin. He is in a spot to transfer, but he wants to win this race.
He's going to be happy with either first or second, though, because that's going to lock that Toyota, which is, again, the only Toyota in the whole series, into the All-Star race.
And he's also joining the only Buick and the only Cadillac in the field.
And at the moment, there is only one Dodge Dart locked into the All-Star race. So, and that would be the 82 car of Johnny Gardner. But as far as lone manufacturers go, you've got one Toyota in the series, and as you just stated, one Buick and one Cadillac. So,
yours truly is the only Buick.
Yes, sir. The number 26 Quaker State Buick, the old King Racing paint scheme.
Yep. Last lap.
Yes, sir. Oh, look at Carson Scott.
Carson looking at the inside. He's got to run. But Weber slams the door. And he's close enough. He might get a run on that 75. Here comes to the inside, but Randy just a bit too strong as they come out. It's turn number 4. Randy Claflin looks like he's going to do it in segment 1. He's going to win here in Ontario.
So the 2 cars that will lock into the All-Star race are going to be Randy Claflin and the only Toyota in the series. That would be Jeff Weber. Those 2 cars lock themselves in, but the front row for segment 2 is going to consist of Carson Scott and Gabriel Wanderley.
Absolutely.
And you take a look at the finishing order there. Why don't you go ahead and take us through that, James? As I do some.
We gave you the top 4 already. Joshua Osborne, a solid run in 5th position. He'll start inside of the 2nd row. Stephanie Gardner finishes in 6th position. Jonathan Fitzwater 7th. Alex Tanker, Seth Cole, and Devin Becker ends up finishing in 10th position. He'll start on the outside of row number 4. Then it's Luis Hernandez, Christina Weber, O'Neal Baldwin, Quentin Moore, Dylan Young. Amazing finish considering he got into a wreck himself.
Yeah, great run.
Zachary Fitzwater, Dylan Poteet. The last car to finish, Logan Wilson, Jay Davis, Andrew Davis, and Chris Dodd out of the race in the first segment, but they will get a backup car for the second and make a second run at it. And the average speed of the race, 144.533 miles an hour. And great race, good race we saw here at the Big O, and may expect to see more of the same in the second segment.
Absolutely. If the racing that happened in the first segment is any indication of how it's going to go in the second segment, it's going to be pretty wild. And yeah, there you see Randy Claflin gets the win in the first segment. And the heartache for the 88th, the Gray Ghost Chevrolet that took a barrel roll down the backstretch. And that's Chris Dodd losing 13 spots to finish 21st. Stay tuned, folks. Second segment coming up. All right, folks. Halftime break over with. Adjustments have been made. Backup cars have been pulled out. It's time for a good old-fashioned showdown. The second segment, 15 laps. You've got one chance to transfer into the All-Star race in this segment, and that is you have to win it. Second segment, no top two, no nothing else. Win it or go home, and hope you can rely on the fan vote. Again, with me in the booth, James Qualls. James, why don't you go ahead and take us through the starting lineup for segment 2.
If this first segment was any indication, this second race ought to be an excellent one, too.
Yeah, there was some wild racing. There was some crashes. We saw a couple of wild wrecks, one of which was Jay Davis. He went up into the catch fencing because he and Zachary Fitzwater going for the same piece of real estate. Neither one wanted to give it up. But anyway, okay, James, well, like I said, why don't you go ahead and take us through the starting lineup?
Absolutely. On the pole here, by virtue of finishing third in the first race, it's Carson Scott in the Great Clips Chevrolet, car number 25. He starts on the front, on the pole. Beside him, just as he was in the first segment, except outside pole as opposed to the pole sitter, it's Gabriel Wonderly in the Quality Care Ford, car number 15. Joshua Osborne had a tremendous run in the first segment. He qualified third. Here's the second run, the TaxAct Military Chevrolet, car number 14. And number 81, Alltel Dodge Dart, it's Stephanie Gardner on the outside. Jonathan Fitzwater in the Snickers Ford, car number 30, has the inside of the third row. Beside him, the number 12, Mobile 1 Ford Fusion. Alex Tanker for Penske Racing. Seth Cole, number 52, Pirates of the Caribbean Chevrolet for NSCRA Motorsports. And beside him, Devin Becker in the Haas Automotion Chevrolet, car number 41. Then it's number 42, the Glad to Give Chevrolet, Luis Hernandez and Christina Weber, and number 10, Aspen Dental Chevrolet. Then it's Ollie Neal Baldwin, the number 1, McDonald's Ford, a good runner here in this race so far today.
Actually, I think that's a Chevy. Fail.
Chevrolet, thank you. It'll be alongside Quentin Moore, the number 13, Geico Chevrolet for Germain Racing. Dylan Young, number 22, Pennzoil Ford, has the inside of the next row down. Beside him, the 59, Justice for Michelle Dodge Dart, Zachary Fitzwater.
And these guys are all in backup cars now.
Indeed, they are. Dylan Poteet has the inside of the next row down. Number 2, Miller Lite Ford Fusion, the beautiful blue and white car. Beside him, it is Logan Wilson, the Purex Ford, car number 83. Then it's Jay Davis has to go from back in the pack here now. The number 93 Rhino Power Ford is as fast as that car is. It better be fast. He'll be alongside the number 54 Simpson Ford Fusion. Number 54 for Wolfpack Racing. It is Andrew Davis. Then it's Chris Dodd, the number 88 Nationwide Insurance Chevrolet. He starts shotgun in the field.
And let's just hope that Jay here doesn't end up having to use that rhino horn that's on the hood to bang some people out of the way, although that may be what he has to do.
And I know, by the way, he and Andrew, no relation. No.
And let's go ahead and get the command to get this second segment underway.
And again, whoever has the command of the fired engines, his microphone failed.
Actually, I heard it quite well on this end. I don't know if you did, but... And here we go. Again, the beautiful 2016 C7 Corvette pace car pacing the field.
Ooh.
But, again, you know, although on a much grander scale, being a 2.5-mile racetrack, this is a good old-fashioned Saturday afternoon short track shootout. 15 laps, you got one position to keep, and that's number 1. It's either checkers or wreckers, because if you don't win this segment, you're going to have to rely on the fan vote. And there will be no pit stops, so, aggressive. How would I say this? If there is such a thing, careful aggression may be the key for the guys in the rear. Would that be kind of, you think, an appropriate description of what needs to be done? You need to be aggressive, but yet you need to be careful as well that you don't wreck.
Exactly, but you don't need to be too careful, obviously. I mean, it's a 15-lap race, a short race. As we saw in the first one. The first one's kind of like the... Well, like what the length of the Winston Open used to be at Charlotte, like about 45, 50 laps or so. It's almost like this version of the All-Star race, almost like, you have to open for 45 laps, and then you had the main event at 15, so... Except, of course, you got 3 people transferring, counting the winner of this race here, as well as the fan vote, which makes it 4.
And here we go. Pull the belts tight one more time and take us to green again, James.
Exactly. As the green, Carson Scott, Gabriel Wonderly, the front 2 cars here, Ford versus Chevrolet, green flag racing, boogity, 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 let's go racing, boys and girls.
And so far it's clean going into the corner.
Taking it clean so far.
But will it stay that way? Will we see 3 wide like we did in the first segment? So far it looks like just 2 by 2, but... Oh, we do have 3 wide right there between Quentin Moore, Zachary Fitzwater, and Dylan Young.
Oh boy.
This may not work out well. Depends on whether somebody backs off into the corner, and they do not. They're still going to stay 3 wide.
And they're keeping the handle on these cars.
I'm sure it's probably not a full load of fuel, sticker tires, but probably not a full load of fuel. Weight is speed. So my guess would be just enough probably to make it to the end with maybe a couple of laps to spare. And that's it. I would say probably 1 can get dumped in. And chassis...
I was going to say teammates, but Jay Davis trying to help his way around Dylan Poteet, actually helping Poteet ahead of Quentin Moore in the 13.
Right. And let's take a ride on board our previous pick. That's the Rhino Supplements Ford of Jay Davis. But you see the outside line looks like the preferred line as Jay drops 3 positions.
Davis at about 8,900 RPMs in the first turn. And down to about 7,000 even.
Looking to the inside of the Purex Ford of Logan Wilson.
8,700, 8,800 RPMs, 89, right at 9,000.
Let it all hang out. It's either checkers or wreckers.
But Gabriel Wonderly, he's trying to find his way past Carson Scott.
Carson wants to lock in while everybody wants to lock in, but I think the person more than anything that wants to lock in that first group there would be Stephanie Gardner. She wants to be locked in along with her husband Johnny. Those 2 teammates, and both driving Dodge Darts.
Yeah, but this is what the fans come to see here: an intra-division, an intra-manufacturer robbery, Ford versus Chevy versus Mopar.
Correct. And would have also been versus Toyota. However, Jeff Weber, the driver of the only Toyota in the series, by virtue of his second place finish in segment 1, locked himself into the All-Star race. So all 3 lone manufacturers are in the All-Star race: Cadillac, Buick, and Toyota.
Yep. And 1 Dodge Dart as of right now.
Correct. Hopefully, if Stephanie has anything to say about it, it'll be 2 Dodge Darts.
Or Zachary Fitzwater.
That as well, yeah. Although Zachary kind of a little far back in the field at the moment. He currently runs in the 15th position. So if he's going to make it, he's got to hope for nothing short of probably a miracle.
Yeah, this is becoming a one-lane racetrack right now, though. A one-groove racetrack per se. You know, if you want to pull out, though, you better hope to try to make another groove work.
With heat in the race, as we see Stephanie Gardner look to the inside of Gabriel Wanderley and Alex Tanker look to the inside of Josh Osborne.
Tanker trying to help Stephanie.
Once heat is put into a lot of racetracks, you know, that sometimes they tend to become one groove. When they're cooler and not a lot of heat in the track, you can kind of sometimes make a second groove work, but this not the case here.
No, it ain't.
And abrasive as well. I mean, this track being, 45, 46 years old now. You know, the surface certainly, I'm sure, has seen better days.
For sure, but even though through the magic of NR 2003, they have repaved this version.
But, you know, they, even with the repaved job, I have seen some tracks that were quite abrasive.
Poor Stephanie Gardner, she's had 2 shots at Gabriel Wanderley and has been shut off both times.
Right, exactly. As we have just reached the halfway point, lap 7 of 15. This is the time where if you're going to make a move, you're going to have to make it. This isn't, you know, if you've got a good hand, so to speak, you don't want to keep it hidden for too long. You're going to want to show your hand and show it quickly.
I think what they're trying to do. I think what they're trying to do is trying to feel each other out right now, and then when then about maybe a few laps to go, though, they'll try to start racing. Hopefully, they'll try to start race for it.
Stephanie's kind of, I've noticed when they go into the corner, Stephanie runs about a half a lane lower than Gabriel does. Maybe she's trying to possibly rubber up that lower groove a little bit, maybe get a little grip down there to try to make an inside move.
If she can get Joshua Osborne to hook up behind her, though, that's going to be that may play to Stephanie's advantage, but that's if Joshua stays behind her.
Right, exactly.
And Stephanie can't make the move all by herself with this package they got in these cars. Nobody can make a move by themselves.
And as we say that, that's exactly what she does.
And Gabriel's going to go with her. Here comes Gabriel for the lead.
And I was talking about showing your hand. Well, it looks as though the Quality Care Ford and the Altel Dodge have decided now's the time. And Stephanie's going to make it 3 wide.
3 wide. Trying to go 3 wide.
And she does so. But who does Josh go with? Josh is looking, feeling around. It looks like he's going to go with his fellow Chevy, Carson Scott.
Oh,
3 wide in the corner. That's never good.
And now here comes Luis Hernandez. Where did he come from?
Right, exactly. He was way back.
This looks like the start of the Indianapolis 500.
3 by 3. And we see Tanker, Jonathan Fitzwater. Wow, what a bonsai move Fitzwater just made. He came from all the way outside 3 wide.
He just went for it.
All the way from the outside 3 wide to the inside. Holy cow, that was a bonsai move.
But see, that's the thing of it. The thing of it is here, all that battling is all well and good, though, but that does let the leader pull away.
And as we see Carson Scott, he's got about a 2 to 3 car length lead over Gabriel Wanderley.
Now they narrow it back down to single file racing them in the first about 4 or 5 cars.
Devin Becker looking at the possibility of going 3 wide. 3 wide between Poteet, Becker, and Quentin Moore. That doesn't work into the corners.
This time by Poteet with the help of Logan Wilson.
Fellow Ford driver there. Oh, another wreck.
Problems!
The same two cars wrecking again in the second segment.
Oh my God.
And that would be Jay Davis and Carson Scott.
Again.
I mean, and I'm sorry, Jay Davis and Zachary Fitzwater. And let's go back to Jay's car here and see what happened. 3 wide between Chris Dodd, Jay Davis, and Zachary Fitzwater, and it looks like Dodd was kind of trying to make a little bit of a bonsai move to the inside, and the door was closed by Jay Davis when he tried it.
If you don't believe in deja vu, you ought to now.
Although now Chris Dodd involved in that Fitzwater-Davis storyline. Oh, Zach Fitzwater just plows into the passenger side of Chris Dodd, and he gets ping-ponged in between Jay Davis and Zach Fitzwater and just spins Davis out. But that's, you know, 2 members of the same earlier storyline, as you all watched. Zachary Fitzwater and Jay Davis involved in a wreck in segment 1. But let's go on board.
It's like I said, if you don't believe in deja vu, you ought to now.
As we are on board the Rhino Supplements Ford, you see the 59 of Fitzwater to the outside. We're going to back up just a touch here. And we're going to do this at real speed. Jay Davis thinking he's clear, and then all of a sudden, pow!
I've seen that much smoke. I ain't seen that much smoke since the John Force burnout.
Doesn't look like any kind of serious damage to the Rhino Supplements Ford, however.
And he drives away Kurt Busch style.
You can bet there's probably some Kurt Busch style language used on the radio there as well. Now my question is, and I believe it would be Carson Scott still the leader, did anybody elect to pit? I wouldn't think that they would, however, you never know.
Not with 4 laps to go.
Okay, let's just, as they come to the caution, which was right there, let's get to the point where the pace car picks up the field and see if anybody did decide to make a visit to pit road. Okay, pace car has the field. Now let's see, did anybody pit?
I don't think they did.
I don't think it would be a smart move to do so, but you never know if somebody might, you know, take a gamble and do it. And no, nobody decided that they were going to make a pit stop. I believe the lights will go down atop the pace car, and we're going to have a green-white checkered finish. The green and white will come out simultaneously, and then we'll have the checkered. So this is really a good old-fashioned Saturday night shootout now. If you're going to make a move, this is going to be the time to make it. And actually, caution and white will come out. I take that back. I'm sorry. The white flag, green and white will come out at the same time, and then we'll have checkered. And I believe this race is actually going to end under caution. It is indeed. As you see the lights still on atop the pace car.
Ugh. So that means Carson Scott's going to be the 3rd transfer into the All-Star race.
Although actually, no, this race will end under caution, I believe, because the pace car will come around to get the white, and we're going to have about a 30-yard shootout for the checkered, because the pace car will drop off just on the very last lap.
Oh gosh.
Unless the lights stay on, we'll see. let's go aboard the roof cam of the Great Clip Chevrolet, and we'll see if the pace car lights do turn off when they come across the line this time. This time by.
I don't think it will, though, because I mean, if they stay under caution, it's going to stay under caution. So
I have seen stranger things happen though with that R2003. But
it's like usually nobody gets penalized for jumping the restart, like until in my truck series with Zachary Fitzwater and Eldora.
Yeah.
The only time anybody's ever jumped the start, or jumped the restart before the green even fell, and the green didn't fall until after they crossed the start-finish line. That was the strange part.
Right. He actually went when he was supposed to go, from the sound of it, in the restart zone, and they just never threw the green.
Yeah. I have to admit, my mouth was hung open for about 10 seconds after that.
And we will end under caution.
So, Carson Scott is going to do it here today at Ontario Motor Speedway. He'll be the third transfer into the All-Star race.
Everybody else going to have to rely on the fan vote.
Yeah, I mean that was a shame. He was going to have a pretty good. It looked like he was going to have a good race to the checkers.
Yeah, and unfortunately, again we had the Fitzwater Davis show. And Chris Dodd kind of inserted himself into that too. I would honestly, if I had to place the fault on any car though, I would place that fault with Chris Dodd. He tried to insert himself into a piece of real estate that really wasn't open.
Right, and more often than not though, you got drivers who will try that. They'll try to stick their nose in they'll try to stick their nose in in a hole that's about 2 or 3 feet less than what their front end is actually measured.
And unfortunately, Jay Davis not going to be in the All-Star race. He's going to finish last.
Yeah, goes to show you sometimes your testing numbers don't mean a thing in NR.
No, you can test very well, and then I've seen in practice, and in testing, cars that were the absolute fastest on the track, and then when qualifying came out, they qualified absolutely dead last. So,
unbelievable.
But go ahead and take us to the checkered here, James.
You can bet Carson Scott is spinning from ear to ear as he is coming across the start finish line, and we are on board with Carson as he comes across the start finish line at about 75 miles an hour. That's hauling, but not. But he will do it here today as in segment number 2. Third transfer in the All-Star race out of the 4. The 4 will come via the fan vote, and it will be from any of the rest of the 18 cars in this field, as the following was: Gabriel Wonderly comes home 2nd, Stephanie Gardner 3rd, Joshua Osborne 4th, 5th, Alex Tanker, Jonathan Fitzwater, Christina Weber, excuse me, Elise Hernandez, Seth Colt, and Dylan Young, who comes back to finish in the top 10. O'Neal Balvin, Dylan Poteet, Devin Becker, Quentin Moore, Logan Wilson, Chris Dodd, Andrew Davis, Zachary Fitzwater, and Jay Davis in the 19th position. So,
but if the shootouts have been any, the 2 segments of the shootout have been any indication, it's going to be pretty wild in the All-Star race.
Oh boy!
And that is actually going to be a 3-segment race. Excuse me. It's going to be 100 laps total, 50 in the first. I'm sorry. It's going to be. I take that back. It's going to be 80 laps total, 50 in the first, 20 in the second, and then a good old-fashioned 10-lap shootout for the 3rd segment. So it's going to be pretty exciting.
Hopefully we can get a quicker state. Hopefully we can get a quicker state Buick to run pretty good here in the All-Star race, and who knows, maybe pull it off here. I've been winless in the All-Star race throughout my entire career, so hopefully my first will come.
And I'm hoping I'm going to be debuting a brand new paint scheme featuring actually metal flake paint
Wow.
And that is going to be the number 39 Cool Ranch Doritos Ford in the next race.
One of my favorite flavors.
Which will be at Charlotte, the All-Star race. I'm actually going to be driving the POWMIA Wounded Warrior Project Ford.
Cool Ranch is one of my favorite flavored Doritos, too.
Right. But, stay tuned, folks. The All-Star race is going to be pretty exciting as we see Carson Scott nosing it out under caution here at Ontario. If you're a fan of exciting racing, you don't want to miss it. And special thanks to James for being in the booth with me today. And he's also going to be one of our in-race reporters for the All-Star race. So that should be interesting to get some comments and things from behind the wheel. So why don't you join us and let's have some fun. We'll see you.